So, with a name like, what is it? Gunther Schweiter something, Schweiterman. I'm going to guess you're German. Blunty, you and I talked before the stream. I'm watching Dark for the second time. Dark is a German show, a great, great drama. I love it, and it's even better watching it the second time. And every time I watch it's in German, so I watch it with subtitles. And every time I watch Dark, I pick up more German words. So I have no Dark spoilers in the chat. Thank you. Blunty is about to watch Dark for the first time. You will be immediately timed out for 24 hours if you put Dark spoilers in the chat. I'm not joking. But every time I watch Dark, I pick up like 2 more German words. And they're such weird and obscure words, you know. Like the first time I watched, I picked up passiert, which means happened. And now I've also picked up Zukunft, which is future, and vielleicht, which means maybe or perhaps. And I'm so proud of myself for knowing 3 German words. Ich weiß nicht, which means I don't know. I'm sure there's more. It's so weird. It's so weird to like be randomly picking up these German phrases. I'm not even trying to learn German. Anyway, I meant to tell that to Ghost Branch FPV just kind of as a joke. The first time I watched Dark, I said to Ghost Branch FPV is German. He's a friend of mine on the Discord server. I said to him, "Man, that show is really good. I've got to find some more German dramas just like this." And he said, No. Dark is the exception. Most German television shows are not that good. Anyway. Thank you for the comment. Red Honu says my pronunciation is surprisingly good. I'm a parrot. I will say, I think I have a better than average ear for pronunciation, which means that if you say something to me in a foreign language and I try to mimic it, I won't get it perfect, but I'll do better than average at picking up on the small differences in vowel sounds and so forth, and I will mimic it. Not perfectly, but better than average. If I try to learn a language, that helps a little bit, but actually producing the vowel sounds in the correct context is harder. But if I hear you say it and mimic it, I'll get it pretty close. So, anyway.
As an aside, I recently heard that there are some vowel sounds that are hard for people to even hear if they aren't raised in a certain area. Like at 9 months old, you start to lose vowel sounds, like the ability to learn new vowel sounds, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. That's the challenge. There are 2 challenges, I think, in learning to pronounce a foreign language. And one is that there will be sounds in the foreign language that are either not present in your language, which is like why Chinese people or Japanese people have trouble with the letter R in English. And one will be that there will be a tendency for you to say words using your native pronunciation when you should actually say them using the other pronunciation, you know? Yeah. So it's a struggle. But it's fun. That's the fun, right? That's the fun. I had a really freaky experience. I was learning Ukrainian recently and trying to get the pronunciation right. And at one point I was speaking out loud, and I know better than most Americans probably, because I tried to learn Ukrainian, that the Ukrainian accent and the Russian accent are not the same. Okay, I would never
I think it would be really insulting to Ukrainians to suggest that they're the same. But there are some parallels between, they're both Eastern European Slavic languages. And I was speaking Ukrainian out loud, and I thought to myself, oh, it sounds kind of like I'm doing a fake Russian accent. And I realized that the reason accents are the way that they are is because that's how you pronounce the letters and phonemes in the language. That no one went, I know, I will do a German accent. No, that was not just a terrible accent. That's just what German sounds like. And so if you're correctly pronouncing German, it will sound like you're doing a German accent. And I was like, oh, what an insight. Cracked me up.
I had a friend in middle school who moved from Colombia, and after speaking with him for a while, I would just start speaking in a Colombian accent when I was speaking with him, and other people would be like, "Why are you doing that?" And I'd be like, "I just started doing it, and he understands it, and he's happy that I'm doing it because he knows what I'm talking about." You know what I mean? Both of us are happy with the situation, so I'm going to keep doing it because I can actually communicate with him properly. You know,
I do that too. And it's, I think there's a name for it. I think it's a psychological, like mirroring. I don't know. It's because you want to communicate with the person, you want to be understood, you want rapport. And I think not everybody does it. When my wife first, I live in the South. I don't have a Southern accent, even though I grew up in the South. My family's from the North. But if I'm hanging out with or if I'm like in a store and the person has a really heavy Tennessee accent, I will have more of a Southern accent, a Tennessee or Georgia accent, than I do when I'm at home. Or if like a guy comes to my house to, work on the plumbing or, whatever. And like, as soon as I'm talking to him, I'll affect more of kind of like a good old boy cadence and accent. And my wife, when she first saw it, and she thought, she was like, "Are you making fun of them? Are you because you don't talk like that?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I didn't even know I was doing it." And it's not. It's not intentionally mimicking. It's like you're trying to create rapport and be understood, right? And I do it a little bit with Spanish speakers. I do it a little bit, if I'm talking to someone who's a native Spanish speaker here. So it doesn't surprise me at all, Blunty, that you did it with your Colombian friend. Yeah. And it helps.
Somebody in chat mentioned a term which was close, but it made me find the other term, which is apparently echolalia.
Yeah.
It's unsolicited. But it's like, in its profound form, it is automatic and effortless, which is kind of what happens to me. It just sort of happens, and I don't really notice that I'm doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. If I speak to someone long enough who has an accent, I will subtly mimic their accent back to them. Because it's just like, that's clearly how you say that word. And I want you to understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to talk to you closer to the way that you talk to me. And we're going to kind of come together.